Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I also opened the Vaishnava calendar. There is a little reading about the Ekadasi. Should I do that before the Bhagavatam or after? I would take it before, because then after the Bhagavatam we can take the questions. Okay. So today is a special day. Today is Pandava Nirjal Ekadasi, or Bhima Nirjal Ekadasi. So I opened the phone and I transferred it into the computer. During the hottest season in the northern hemisphere, if one can perform upavasa, means fasting, without water, one is performing a great feat. One may take only Charnamrita and Achman water. Bhima requested one Rata day by which he could obtain the fruits of all the other days of Rata that he was incapable of observing. Vyasadeva advised him to follow this difficult Rata. One should worship the Lord in the evening by bathing him in milk. On the Dwadasi, one should give full pots of water to Brahmanas and feed them before breaking one's fast. And then, O son, O Keshava, who holds a club disc, conch, and lotus flower in his hand, personally told me that all of the merit achieved by fasting on whatever Ekadasis fall in 1 year can be attained by fasting on this one Ekadasi, Nirjal Ekadasi. Of this there is no doubt. That is from the Hari Bhakti Vilas 1525, and that is a quote from Padma Purana. That is Vyasadeva speaks to Bhishmasena. Atmodarakitas, that is a long Sanskrit. There's from Hari Bhakti Vilas 1533, also a quote from Padma Vyasadeva to Bhishmasena. Anyone who does not fast on this particular Ekadasi, Nirjal Ekadasi, there should be understood to be sinful, corrupted, and suicidal person without a doubt. So, okay, this is some good push. The one is a very encouraging statement, and the other one said, hey, if you don't do that, then you are like that. So most of us are like that. I don't know, all of you are fasting or some? It's easier here. In India, it's a bit, it says it because it's very hot. So the story of the Pandava Nirjal Ekadasi. Once Bhimasena, the younger brother of Maharaj Yudhisthira, asked the great sage Srila Vyasadeva, the grandfather of all the Pandavas, if it is possible to return to the spiritual world without having observed all the rules and regulations of the Ekadasi fast. Bhimasena then spoke as follows: O greatly intelligent and learned grandfather, my brother Yudhisthira, my dear mother Kunti, and my beloved wife Draupadi, as well as Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadev fast completely on each Ekadasi and strictly follow all the rules, guidelines, and regulative injunctions of that sacred day. Being very religious, they always tell me that I should also fast on that day too. But, O learned grandfather, I tell them that I cannot live without eating, because the son of Vayodeva, Samaprana, the digestive air, hunger is unbearable to me. I can give widely in charity and worship Lord Keshava properly with all manner of wonderful upacharas, items, but I cannot be asked to fast on Ekadasis. Please tell me, how can I obtain the same merits result without fasting? Hearing those words, the grandsire of Bhima, Srila Vyasadeva, said, if you want to go to the heavenly planets and avoid hellish planets, you should indeed observe a fast on both the light and dark Ekadasis. Bhima replied, O great, saintly, intelligent grandfather, please listen to my plea. O greatest of Munis, since I cannot live if I eat only once a day, how can I possibly live if I fast completely? Within my stomach burns a special fire called, named Vrika, the fire of digestion. Agni, the fire god, descends from Lord Vishnu to Brahma, and from Brahma to Agni Rasa, from Agni Rasa to Brihaspati, and from Brihaspati to Samu, who was Agni's father. And he is the gatekeeper in charge of the Narariti, the southeastern direction. He is one of the 8 material elements, and Parikshit Maharaj, he is very expert at examining things. He examined Maharaj Sibi once by touring into a drove. Further information, you get incident of this in Srila Prabhupada A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami's Bhagavatam commentary to 1:12:20 in the purport. Agni is divided into 3 categories. Deva Agni, the fire in wood; Yagnat Ati, the fire in the digestion, in the stomach; and Vadavagni, the fire that creates fog when hot and cold steams mix in, for example, in the ocean. Another name for the fire of digestion is Vrika. It is this powerful fire that resides in Bhima's stomach. Only when I eat to my full satisfaction does the fire in my stomach become satisfied. O great sage, I might possibly be able to fast only once. So I beg you to tell me of that in Ekadasi that is worthy of my fasting and that includes all other Ekadasis. I shall faithfully observe that fast and hopefully still become eligible for liberation's release. Srila Vyasadeva replied, O king, you have heard from me about the various kinds of occupational duties, such as elaborate Vedic ceremonies and pujas. In the Kali Yuga, however, no one will be able to observe all occupational and functional duties properly. I shall therefore tell you, at practically no expense, one can endure some small austerity and achieve the greatest benefit and resultant happiness. The essence of what is written in Vedic literatures known as the Puranas is that one should not eat on either the dark or light fortnight Ekadasis. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabhagavad Purana 13:12 and 15, the Bhagavad Purana is itself the essence or cream of all Vedanta philosophy. And the Srimad Bhagavatam's own unequivocal message is that is full surrender to Lord Sri Krishna and the rendering of loving devotional service to him. Observing Ekadasi strictly is a great aid in that process. And here Srila Vyasadeva is simply stressing to Bhima the importance of Ekadasi Vrata. One who fasts on Ekadasi is safe from going to the hellish planets. Hearing Srila Vyasadeva's words, the son of Vayu, Bhimasena, the strongest of all warriors, became frightened and began to shake like a leaf on a banyan tree in a strong wind. The frightened Bhimasena then said, O grandfather, what shall I do? I am completely unable and ill-equipped to fast twice in a month throughout the year. Please tell me of the one fasting day that will bestow the greatest benefit upon me. Vyasadeva replied, without drinking even water, you shall fast on the Ekadasi that occurs during the light fortnight of the months of Jesta, May, June, when the sun travels in the sign of Taurus, Vrishab, and Gemini, Mithun, according to the learned personalities. On this day, one may bathe and perform Achman for a parikshota purification. But while performing Achman, one may drink only that amount of water equal to a drop of gold, or that amount it takes to immerse a single mustard seed. Only this amount of water should be placed in the right palm for zipping, which one should form to resemble a cow's ear. If one drinks more water than this, he might as well have drunk wine despite the soaring heat of the summer in the northern hemisphere and cold in the southern hemisphere. One must certainly not eat anything, for if one does so, he breaks his fast. This rigid fast is in effect from sunrise on the Ekadasi day to sunrise on the Dwadasi day. If a person endeavors to observe this great fast very strictly, he easily achieves the result of observing all 24 other Ekadasi fasts throughout the entire year. On Dwadasi, the devotee should bathe early in the morning and then, according to the prescribed rules, guidelines, and regulators' injunctions, and of course, depending on his ability, he should give some gold and water to the worthy brahmanas. Finally, he should cheerfully honor prasadam with a brahmana. O Bhimasena, one who can fast on the special Ekadasi in this manner reaps the benefit of having fasted on every Ekadasi during the year. There is no doubt of this, nor should there be. O Bhima, now here's a specific merit one gets by fasting on this Ekadasi. The Supreme Lord Keshava, who holds a conch, discus, club, and lotus, personally told me, everyone should take shelter of me and follow my instructions. He told me that one who fasts on this Ekadasi without taking even drinking water or eating becomes free from all sinful actions. At that one who observed that difficult Nirjal or Jesta Sukla Ekadasi truly reaps the benefit of all other Ekadasi fasts. O Bhimasena, in Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, when all the principles of the Vedas will have been destroyed or greatly diminished, and when there will be no proper charity or observance of the ancient Vedic principles and ceremonies, how will there be any means of purifying the self? But there is opportunity to fast on Ekadasi and become free of all one's past sins. And it just keeps on going. I think we're good enough here. So a very important day, particularly usually we say if somebody by accident broke one fast during the year, then we can make it up by fasting this Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi. So sometimes devotees might think we're already worshipping the Lord and we're already chanting Hare Krishna, but it is an underlying principle that we have to perform tapasya. So how much tapasya, it is very individual. I remember in India sometimes I used to do this nirjal for years together. And it is not really fruitful if you just all day long meditate on food and wait when the time is coming to breaking the fast. Tapasya should be done to support our Krishna consciousness. So we have to be a little bit sensitive. If we are young and fired up, we may fast. If we may be a little older, we may not fast. This way or that way. A remembrance of Krishna is the underlying principle. But still, Ekadasi is an important thing. When Mahaprabhu found out his mother was not following, so one of the instructions he gave is, please follow Ekadasi. It's a very important principle. All right. We're reading from... we're in the Bhagavad Gita here. Back here. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, the status quo, Chapter 13, the appearance of Lord Varaha, text number 45. Savai bata baristamatis tavaisate yakamanam param aparakamanaha Yad yoga maya guna yoga mohitam Visvam samastam bhagavan vidit sam Savai bata barista maista vaisate Matis Yakamanam param aparakamanaha Yad yoga maya guna yoga mohitam Vaisvam samastam bhagavan videstam Savai bata barista matis tvaivaste Yakamananam paramaparakamanaha Yad yoga maya guna yoga mohitam Vaisvam samastam bhagavan vidista sam Savai bata barista maestravase Yakamanam param apara kamanaha Yad yoga maya guna yoga mohitam Vaisvam samatam padasam vidistam Namaste Tede Ramanam kamanakara kamanaha Yat yoga maya guna yoga mohitam Visvam samastam bhagavan videsam. Ladies? Savaibhata bharistadvaisvate Yakamanam paramapara kamanaha Yad yoga maya guna yoga mohitam Vishvam samastam bhagavan vidisam. Word for word. Sa, he, vai, certainly. Bata, alas. Parastamatai, nonsense. Tava, your. Esate, desires. Ya, one who. Kamanam, of activities. Param, limit. Aparakamanaha, of one who has unlimited activities. Yat, by whom? Yoga, mystic power. Maya, potency. Guna, modes of material nature. Yoga, mystic power. Mohitam, bewildered. Visvam, the universe. Samastam, in total. Bhagavan, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vidhihe, just be pleased to bestow. Some good fortune. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Lord, there is no limit to your wonderful activities. Anyone who desires to know the limit of your activities is certainly nonsensical. Everyone in this world is conditioned by the powerful mystic potencies. Please bestow your causeless mercy until this conditioned souls. Purport. Mental speculators who want to understand the limit of the unlimited are certainly nonsensical. Every one of them is captivated by the external potencies of the Lord. The best thing for them is to surrender upon Him, knowing Him to be inconceivable, for thus they can receive His causeless mercy. This prayer was offered by the inhabitants of the higher planetary system, namely Jana, Tapu, and Satyaloka, who are far more intelligent and powerful than humans. Vishwan Samastam is very significant here. There are the material world and the spiritual world. The sages pray, both worlds are bewildered by your different energies. Those who are in the spiritual world are absorbed in your loving service, forgetting themselves and you also, and those in the material world are absorbed in material sense gratification and therefore also forget you. No one can know you because you are unlimited. It is best not to try to know you by unnecessary mental speculation. Rather, kindly bless us so that we can worship you with causeless devotional service. Om Jnana Timirandasya Janandana Salakaya Chakshu Unmanitamrina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. So, where are we? You're the regular participants of this pastime. Where are we right now? Yeah, but different speakers are there. Right now, the sages from the upper planetary system speaking. Brahma was speaking with Manu in the beginning of the chapter, but the actual recitation is that Vidura was sent to find Uddhava and to hear from Uddhava by Krishna himself, and Uddhava felt that Maitreya is nearby, who is very much senior to me, so he asked Vidura to speak to Maitreya. So Vidura asked questions and Maitreya is explaining the pastimes, and that happened where? We are all from India? No. That was the sages were sitting of Naimisharanya. That layer is also there, and then the next layer is that Parikshit Maharaj is sitting. That is near Delhi. That pastime in Srukatal, and then he is describing the pastimes, and Maitreya is speaking to Vidura in Haridwar. So, and he is narrating this, and then he referred to the pastime where Brahma and Manu was speaking, and Manu was in great distress because he's a ruler. There are different Manus, and the earth was in the causal ocean. It had been fallen down, and it had been put there by the demon Hiranyaksha. And so what Brahma did, because he's a more settled living entity, he's living actually in Satyaloka. Satyaloka is another name for Brahma Loka. So Brahma, in the very beginning of creation, what did he do? He was sitting on the lotus flower, and he did not know what to do next. So what did he do? He meditated, and then the Lord said one word came out of the ether, it was tapa. And then he performed great meditation, and then the Chatusloki Bhagavatam was spoken to him. So here he did the same thing in this chapter. When he realized that there is a great difficulty in his creation, the earth had fallen out of orbit. So he started, instead of frantically trying to do something, what we are, who are mostly in the mode of passion, if we see something goes wrong, we immediately try to do some action or think what we can do. He went into meditation. And in that meditation, he prayed. And then what happened? Varaha came out of his nostril. First, he was very small, like the top part of a thumb, and he got bigger and bigger, and then the pastime wound up. Many nice things are there, and then Hiranyaksha obviously got disturbed, and he took up a fight, and the Lord pretty much killed him. And then there is a interesting pastime where when Hiranyakashipu comes on the scene and he sees his slain brother, and then he sees that the wives of Hiranyaksha are crying and lamenting, and they don't want to leave loose of that body. They're very much disturbed. And then Hiranyakashipu, even being a demon, spoken a lot of Vedic knowledge, how the body is not the self, and that wasn't really doing the job. And then Yamaraj came in the shape of a young boy, and he gave more instructions. And he gave that, I always remember that is very interesting. He said, what is that? What are you actually lamenting for? What you have seen before, the body, he is still laying here. He's not gone. Nothing is done. He's perfectly intact. It is all still there. So what you are lamenting for is that what you have never seen, and that has gone somewhere else. So what is actually your point of lamentation? Because here in the West, it's different. In India, when somebody leaves his body, then basically on the same day, actually, he should be cremated. And so that scenario was there. The sun was setting in the west, and the ladies and the boys were lamenting. They were holding on to the body. So Yamaraj was preaching, and then eventually he was cremated. So here we are in that pastime. So today's sloka speaks, first of all, the people from the higher planetary system, including Brahma Lokas, are speaking, and Srila Prabhupada says in the Perfect, who are far more intelligent and powerful than humans. So as humans, the middle planetary system, the Bur Loka, is very important in a sense, because this is Karma Bhumi. In this planetary system, you can perform activities. As we earlier read about the Ekadasi, you can perform pious or impious activities. And according to how you have acted, you can go up to this higher planetary systems. If you have been a brahmachari, I think the Jnana Loka is, and Tapo Loka, I think, is for brahmacharis. A person who have been strict brahmacharis, they can go to that planets. Or if you're very highly elevated, you can go to Satya Loka. On the other hand, if you have acted impiously, then you have Patala and Mahapatra. There's many lower planetary systems. So, but we are not very intelligent in this. The human beings by itself are not that much intelligence. We can even say that ghosts, most people maybe don't believe in that, but ghosts are even more powerful than human beings. Why? Because it's a speed of mind. They can go from place A to place B. They're on a settled platform, and they observe the settled situation. If you have a ghost in this room, he can see what all our minds are up to. So they're even higher than us. So we are not that intelligent, and it says in the sloka that we should not try to be overly intelligent and try to speculate the limit of the Lord's activities. The whole story behind here is that because the Lord appears as a boar, a hawk, we say, or hawk it is in English. Here, you've been to Vrindavan, you've seen the hawks, isn't it, in India? So they're actually, it's getting less now because the situation is coming like the West slowly but surely. But when I came to India, always hawks were running around everywhere. And that is the worst scenario, that if you're somewhere in downtown and those hawks are in the sewer and they come out, and then they shake and the bristles and that sewage spreads all over the place. Anyone sees a hawk coming out, immediately you take off. But here it is opposite. Here the Lord is acting like, he's not a hawk, he's acting like a hawk, but he's also shaking himself, and the water was spreading all over. So this is a thing, the sloka here, the residents of the higher planetary systems glorifying the Lord, and the quintessence of that glorification is that even you having the shape of a hawk, you're never going to be a hawk. You are transcendental to the modes of material nature. So it's very interesting. And so we as human beings, we should not try to speculate about the Lord. That is very common, most, unless, we're very lucky, unless you have actually this Vedic scripture, you have the Srimad Bhagavatam, and you have the spiritual master who is, here as a purport, is our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Unless you have the actual guidance, it is very easy, even if you read the Vedic literatures, to give an interpretation. There is that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to Jagannath Puri, There was a little incident when they were entering to Jagannath Puri that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had just taken sannyas and he gave his danda to Nityananda Prabhu. It's some bridge, Danta Banga, something, a bridge is there. And Nityananda Prabhu broke the danda into pieces and thrown it in the river. So when Mahaprabhu said, and Nityananda said something, you don't need that, he got very upset and he just walked ahead of the group into Jagannath Puri. And he went for darshan of Lord Jagannath, and after seeing Lord Jagannath, he fell unconscious. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya brought him to his house. So, and then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was very learned, so he seen this young sannyasi, and he was worried that that young sannyasi will fall down because he's so beautiful and young. So he was trying to teach him Vedanta Sutra. And at the end of the, I think 1 week, he finally said, you're just listening, you're not saying anything, are you not understanding? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yeah, I understand very well the Vedanta Sutra, but I do not understand your commentary. It is very diffuse and it is not making any sense. And then Sarvabhauma first got upset and said, then you tell. And then Mahaprabhu spoke, and he spoke such a philosophy that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so much amazed and realized that this must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can see even learned scholars like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they have totally misunderstood the Vedas. So if we with our lesser intelligent brains from the West who have been engaged in sinful activities before we become devotees, trying to understand the Vedas, we definitely would come to the wrong conclusion. So at the end, first the Vedas, they were all transmitted verbally, and then when the Kali Yuga came, the literally incarnation, first the Vedas were written by Vyasadeva, the incarnation for that, and then at the end when he felt unsatisfied, his Narada Muni came as a spiritual master and said, you have described all this where people can go to this heavenly planets, where people can find out to enjoy in the heavenly planets, but you have not given the essence. So then the Srimad Bhagavatam came into place, and that is where we're reading now, and then the different layers of pastimes, the sages of Naimisharanya, then Parikshit Maharaj at Sukadev Goswami at Sukratal, and then Brahma and Manu was speaking, and this whole thing was recited by Maitreya to Vidura. So we're very lucky that we have this situation. I just took a walk around that lake with my wife, and Denmark looks very neat and very clean, and the place looks, when you see from outside, very livable. Half the people looks like having an electric car here, and everything looks very neat and clean. But in reality, this material world is not such a nice place, and it is rather a very merciless place, and the people here are very disconnected. So we have this small temple, it's like an oasis in this desert, this very opulent desert where people are very disconnected. I don't see many churches here also. I don't know. I come from Germany, at every corner is a church, so it doesn't seem much of Christianity is left here even. So we are very fortunate that we're having this connection, and most of the people are totally disconnected. They're living their lives, they're totally absorbed in what is written here in this material sense gratification. They have totally disconnected, and that is the only thing they know. They only know this body and the matter and the situation which is surrounding them, and they're thinking when this body is finished, then everything is finished. So we're very fortunate, and we have to take advantage of that, and we have to try to bring in contact as many people as we can, so that they also can be blessed. So I will stop here, and if there's any comment or any question, That will be very much appreciated. No question?
I mean, there's a comment about Ekadashi, not the verse, but I think actually it was a position paper or something like that from Deepen Ministry of Worship or so many years ago. That actually fasting on Pandava Ekadashi does not count as breaking other Ekadashis.
Yeah, might be. Yeah. Maybe I'm old school. I only remember something from before, yeah.
If we break Ekadashi one time, then Prabhupada's prescription is then you
fast the next day. Yeah.
But, yeah. But we get full benefit from fasting this day that you get from all fasting also.
Yeah.
Anyway, small detail.
Yeah, because we're not actually karma kandis in any way. We're not bhimas. We can fast every Ekadasi. Yeah, it is for us. It is just yes.
Purport was saying that sages were saying to the sage,
Yeah.
that what you were explaining, and that speculation will not be happen. I not got the point actually. What kind of speculation?
Okay. The point is that people are trying with their limited mind to understand the unlimited. So we are in this body. Says in Bhagavad Gita, we know this body and this field, whereas the Lord knows everybody and every field. The Lord is unlimited. As the other day in the class came this Achinta Beda Beda Tattva. Yes, in quality we are the same of the Lord, but in quantity we are very insignificant. So in this, we can go to this point. He said that in this material world we're forgetting the Lord because of the material energy, and in the spiritual world we're forgetting the Lord because we're getting absorbed in the pastime. Where it's not 100% because I felt because in Vaikuntha everyone is still remembering the Lord. The Lord is always the Lord. But then we as devotees of Lord Krishna, even the Lord forgets that He is the Lord in Krishna Lila, and we are forgetting that the Lord is the Lord. We're just playing our part so that the pastime can get can happen. So the idea that we can try to understand the Lord, that is ruled out here. We are too small. And it is it says it is a fruitless endeavor. And even this higher sages saying we cannot understand the Lord. So what to speak about us insignificant people? Okay? Yes, bro.
I believe Jiva Goswami says that on this one understands the Lord is inconceivable.
Yes.
There's no way you can understand anything about the Lord. But if you understand He is inconceivable, then you can begin to understand Him. Maybe you can elaborate on that.
No, it says that here, that if the Lord can bless us, you kindly bless us so we can worship you with causeless devotional service. That says also in Bhagavad Gita, from me come remembrance, forgetfulness. So if the Lord want to let us in, if the Lord want to bless us to understand Him, then we can understand Him. But if but it's entirely up to Him of how much he want to. And we can even see, I think somebody asked Prabhupada something insignificant, how many windows are there in the Empire State Building or something, in regard of the spiritual master knows everything. He said whatever knowledge I require, the Lord will provide. So even there, the spiritual master who technically has access to all the knowledge because he has access to the Lord, still the Lord will not show him everything. And we can see even Arjuna is a pure devotee. When he sends the Virat Rupa, he didn't want to see that. That was an overdose. He said, no, it's okay, I got it. Please show your normal form again, because with that I can relate.
I want to understand everything about the Lord. There's actually a jnana contamination.
Yeah, that's what it says here. And you can't. You can't. You're same as the Lord in quality, but not in quantity. That quantity you just can't. You just can't. It's impossible. Even technically speaking, even the Lord cannot know everything because He's extending Himself, and that whatever He expanded Himself, He comes to know that, and He's again expanding Himself, and He comes to know that. So it is. So what to speak about us? I mean, if you see that Srila Prabhupada, there was that conversation. I think Tamal Krishna Maharaj put his nose a little bit up, and Srila Prabhupada said, "Oh, there's so many universes in this material world, and in so many universes, we are in one of those universes. In this one universe, there's so many planets, and in that one planet we're sitting, there's so many continents, and amongst those continents, we're sitting in one continent, and in this one continent, there's so many countries. In that one country, we're sitting in one of those countries, and in that countries, there's so many sections, and in that section, we're sitting in one of those towns, and amongst this town, there's so many areas, we're sitting in one area, and there's so many roads, we're sitting in one road. On one road, there's one house, there's so many rooms, and we're sitting in that one room, in that one person, and we're thinking you're thinking you're very important. So we're insignificant. Even we can, when we actually fully purify our soul, we can perceive ourselves first of all and the Lord, but we can't become the Lord. That is what it's saying. It's the jnani contamination, the idea that I'm becoming God, and then as God, technically speaking, I could observe everything. Yeah. All right. Jai. Gantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. ISKCON Copenhagen Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.